Hello, and we're live. Welcome back. My name is Jessica, and this is J. Gilly Tarot. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, you may do so at any time at jgilly.com. That's JGILLY.com. It helps support the channel and me. I'm getting heavily censored and shadow banned, and it's kind of like looking like this is going to be my purpose for the next couple of months. I've been really helping out lately with like corrupt legal cases and um, just helping others navigate extreme corruption like myself. So, subscribe, share if you can, because again, I'm getting shadow banned and heavily censored. And, I'm speaking truth when like I'm getting shadow banned for like 500 subscribers, not even. Anyway, so, yeah, you don't get these superpowers and these gifts, just having like a peachy keen life. I've been through some stuff. So anyway, how are you guys today? Welcome to the chat. Put your QQQs in the chat and I'll get to them hopefully. So how are y'all doing today? I went to the dentist this morning. My teeth are all clean and fresh for you guys. I do hate the sound of the dentist though, I'm not gonna lie. But I go to an amazing dentist. He's a biological dentist and he uses ozone, which I'm a huge, huge fan of, which I talk about all the time. Hi, Tamra. Thanks for coming in. Hi, Jean. Hi, Steve. Thanks for the support. Hi, Libby. Hi, Wendy. Always lovely to see you. And Diana. Ooh, hi. Hey, guys. Okay, so last night, I was falling asleep and I just was lucidly dreaming. I kept dreaming about Hayden Panettiere's limp. And no one really is addressing this. Like in all the videos, you kind of see this limp, right? So I went digging and I was like, what is this limp supposedly from? And on every like sleazy media outlet like TMZ or the New York Post or Page Six, People Magazine, all those creepy, whatever, Mockingbird News outlets that are owned by BlackRock, they all claim it's from her pinched nerves, which I don't buy. She said it was from doing stunts. I don't buy it. I think she was physically abused, allegedly. And I think that Brian Hinkerson or Heckerson or whatever the heck his name is, allegedly, what I was seeing in her aura is he, as her handler, when she would step out of line, her limp and her issues with her back would get worse. That's what I oracally saw. That's what I psychically downloaded. And there's just little hints and clues here all over the map. When like the neighbor that was interviewed, Hayden's neighbor was like, yeah, I saw her leaving on a gurney and things like that, like severe abuse. Severe handler abuse. It's obvious that Brian Hickerson was her handler. Before that, I believe it was her husband from, is he in the Ukraine or Romania or something like that? Now, in the previous episode, someone asked about Jenkins being her handler, a friend at 18. And I didn't realize they were asking about Diana Jenkins. What I channeled was I was picking up on masculine energy. And I was picking up that they were trying to groom Hayden to be someone's handler, like psychically, because of her Pleiadian and Lyran skills. So she was kind of like a hybrid Pleiadian Lyran starseed. I was seeing more Lyran than Pleiadian, but just a little bit of Pleiadian. I think this is why they also sacrificed her allegedly, during the eclipse. Obviously there's a huge connection with the Heroes series she was in and all that other stuff, but on top of that, her natural DNA and bloodline was connected to the Lyran starseed DNA, and naturally during a Leo season portal, the Lion's Gate and all that stuff, that all kind of coincides and creates an energetic vortex that is a delicious snack for, I would call, the deletes. And so I think that she knew. There's this feeling I was getting last night as I was dreaming. There's a feeling that she felt she was running out of time, and she knew, especially with on the heels of her book being published and written. There was a sense of urgency, just like Isaac Cappy, a feeling that you're being watched, followed, gang stalked, and like too many synchronicities, too many weird happenings, that kind of thing. Again, the name Robert, like a French version of Robert, is so coming through strong. Like there's some documents or something that Robert has that needs to be leaked. That's what I'm getting. I don't know why. I don't know how. I think high legendary focus. I think the closest one, sorry to like, I just read your question. I think the closest biological dentist to Atlanta would be probably Sarasota, but you know, you never know. They pop up new every day. So like I think there's a website you can look up, biologicaldentist.org or something, and see the local ones in your area. But I think the closest one probably might be either Sarasota. Yeah. Yeah. But check it out. Yeah, biological dentists I think are awesome. They're way better than regular dentists. I hate going to the dentist, but this dentist has made it like so awesome. So yeah, put your QQQs in the chat. We're gonna tap into this energy. I'm not gonna lie, I have been feeling Hayden Panettiere, but like I don't want to tap into her energy too much because I want to like give her like space to transition. But it seems like she's kind of like in this final like stage of like disclosure. Like I feel like she's like even on a mission on the other side, like wanting to drop information, truth bombs, that kind of thing. So I don't think, yeah, what I'm picking up heavily that I need to put on the record here is that I don't think her pinched nerves and her limp came from pinched nerves in her back from like a stunt gone wrong in the movies. I think I'm actually getting her right hip, damage to her right hip from abuse and possibly being thrown down some stairs or thrown like to the ground, something like that, where her hip was severely damaged ever since then. And then maybe when the temperature would change and the pressure would change in weather, flying and also going back and forth from coast to coast, that's when she would have trouble and like you'd see her limping more and more. I think that's why you also see her limping quite a bit in the airport when she's trying to hide from paparazzi, just from the pressure changes and stuff. And like I'm seeing maybe like a broken hip, or which is not common in young adults. Like that's more common in geriatric patients, right? So the fact that she broke, like, I'm picking up on a broken hip or like um severely damaged hip from being thrown downstairs or like an injury that was like a violent like it was violently induced by another person. So this could also like create back problems and uneven like scoliosis and healing and things like that. That's what I'm picking up. So that was the cause. It was someone caused this injury that was a lifelong struggle with temperature changes, much like a person, an older person deals with like an old, like, you know, football injury or something like that, where there was broken bones. And that is exactly what I'm getting here. And it was something that she constantly had to deal with in the changing of the seasons, which is really sad. Really, really sad. And I feel that Brian Hickerson was the culprit, allegedly. Um, I do think Brian Hickerson is to blame for luring her to her death. I don't think that she OD'd herself. I think this was forced upon her allegedly for entertainment purposes only. I haven't been following the news too much, breaking news lately, just because I don't want to be tainted by. I just want to like have a clear channel. Um, I'm sure TMZ. I haven't seen any of TMZ's posts lately, but I'm sure TMZ is. Listen, TMZ is one of the sleaziest journalist outlets ever. And they're part of the group. They're part of the club. So anytime, just like whenever they posted David's story, they posted David with what was his name? Neo, and like in a shirt that said like I'm gay or something, or I'm not against gay or something like that. They're always going to put it in hidden in plain sight through the symbolism of eyesight. What you see is to download the symbolism with your eyesight, to trance and to cast a spell, to cast an illusion to the masses. So whatever they're posting with Brian Hickerson, pay attention to the shirts he's wearing, the hats, any type of brand names, things like that. Pay attention because it's all going to be in the symbolism. That's what I'm picking up. Yes, thanks. Thanks, Steve. Don't forget to hit the like button. That helps the algorithm. QQQ, do my guides have any info on what I should be focusing on to have a wonderful September? Not sure if I need to double down on financial endeavors or health endeavors. So health, my guides are saying health is wealth. Double down on health endeavors, and naturally the financial endeavors follow suit and fall in line and zip together. So how will her September? I'm getting, if you choose to focus on financials, that it's like creates an unnecessary burden. Okay. And in November, your financials will get better. Spending time alone, yes. Just taking a pause, like just to reflect. Yeah, and abundance follows. So I'd say focus on health. Get your frequency in alignment to accept the abundance. And how will her September look? Yeah, I think the lesson here is, I don't know if you're grieving a breakup or what, but you were giving all of your energy, abundant womb, creative energy to another person that didn't deserve it. So if you just pour into yourself, look, abundance is soon to follow. So, yep, I think September will be good. Hi. And if you guys want to book a personal reading with me, you may do so at any time at jgilly.com to get a more in-depth reading. All right. So I'm getting that your daughter is a bit depressed, and she's needing more sunshine, vitamin D, outdoors, grounding. I hope that helps. Alrighty, so back to Hayden. Put your QQQs with any questions for Hayden. Penetier's situation and case that are in the news right now. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so I'm getting lots of people are benefiting from her death financially, which is super sad, especially Brian Hickerson. And I am very suspicious about the house that they found her in, because it's just like says in a residence. Like, whose house was it? Why aren't they saying whose house it was? That's very like suspect to me, and it's suspicious. Okay, now I want to ask this. Okay, so put one in the chat if you think that Hayden Panettiere's DNA is also the same as that pop singer. Is her name Savannah? Let's see. I can't even remember her name. Hold on, let me look it up. No, her name is not Savannah. She kind of looks okay. She's that pop singer that has blonde hair. I mean, her face looks exactly like Hayden's. She's a little bit younger. She kind of looks like the Bewitched star from long ago. Not Bewitched. I Dream of Jeannie. That lady. She reminds me of I Dream of Jeannie. What is her name? Someone remind me in the chat. What is that new pop singer that's like very like she looks like a pinup girl, and she looks exactly like Hayden. What is her name? It's gonna drive me nuts. Let me see if I can just find it through Hayden Panettiere lookalike pop singer. Oh, so her name's Sabrina. Oh, her name is actually Sabrina. Duh. I guess my guys were like trying to like yeah, they look so similar, dude. Sabrina Carpenter and Hayden. I feel like, see, I think this is what Hollywood does. I think that they like scramble the DNA, they splice it, they use it, they clone it, and they end characters. And but personally, I don't think that these people fully realize it. Like I feel like Hayden was just waking up to all the like the underbelly of what goes on in Hollywood. It's all subtle, right? Because they can't, it has to be of your free will. So they coax you through deceit, through leverage, through blackmail and coercion, in my opinion. Yes, Sabrina Carpenter. Yes. Thank you guys. Hi, Jennifer. Glad you caught us too. Yeah. So I don't know if anyone caught Sabrina Carpenter. I'm sorry, Hayden's limp. But see, I'm even getting them mixed up now. I think that there's some mutual DNA there. I think they're a clone of some sort of one another. For sure. Let's see if I can get some confirmation on this. Let me get another deck. Yeah. Are they clones? Mm-hmm. Was Hayden unalived because she was speaking out? Yes. Waking up to her angelic mission. I just heard. Also, something I'm hearing about Robert, and then a robbery. So it's something very significant. And I'm getting like a connection to France, traveling to France. There's also a big connection with whatever Hayden dropped in her book, This Is Me. People can infer and connect the dots to some similar criminal activity with Trump. And that's ultimately why she was taken out, because they were trying to save him, save his face. It's really heavily connected to Trump. I don't know if anyone's made that connection, but there's also something about Robert needing to somebody has some documents that are either connected to Robert, a crime that Robert committed on Hayden, or Robert has documents that Hayden left with him. I don't know who this is. This guy seems French. And it seems like there's some really, really, really like important documents that she left behind with someone that need to be leaked. It's like, I feel like she's like saying these need to be leaked now to protect someone, to protect 12 people that are being threatened right now. There's a lot of people being threatened right now. There's a female and her son that are being threatened right now that was close to Hayden. She's saying, listen to your intuition strongly. There's like something about the prickly goosebumps on the back of like, your hair, saying your hair standing on end on your neck. She's saying to listen to that. When a reptilian's in your midst, your eyes will get itchy and the back of your neck, the hair will stand on end. What? Your eyes will get itchy. Your eyes will get itchy when you're around a demonic reptilian. Eyes will get itchy and red. Something about that. Things are about to really change these next 3 months coming out in Hollywood, but there's going to be a lot of backlash, a lot of throwing people under the bus. So get ready, folks. It's going to get pretty crazy and unbelievable. I never know what what are going to happen in these readings. Okay. Also, I'm hearing that song by Hosier, Take Me to Church. Take me to church. Something about really listening to intuition, something about church, take me to church. Now I'm seeing water. So I know I was like choking and like I felt like I was drowning or like choking on my own like bodily fluids maybe. But now I'm seeing a church. So definitely I think this is like her confirmation that she was sacrificed. Sacrificed allegedly by the Freemasons for financial gains. Brian Hickerson was the person that, was the closest to her at the time of her passing, that infiltrated and forced her allegedly to reach a point of unaliving. Like I said, I don't think this was self-induced. I don't think this was I think at the time of her passing, she was climbing a huge mountain of victory. Like, she was pulling herself out of whatever addictions or hardship she had struggled with, and she was finding power and strength in calling her own sovereignty back. So she had like a long-term, like I said, she had a long-term plan of extricating herself from the people that were handling her and had control over her acting career. She was trying to forge a path that was more sovereign and independent, and could create residual income so she didn't have to worry and take things that would compromise her in any way. Take gigs. So, acting gigs. So, and she was her intuition was so unlocked and so on point that she kind of had this sixth sense about people at this point. She could actually feel it in her bones, no pun intended, with her hip stuff. I think there was a huge crack or injury or broken hip that was caused by Brian Hickerson, and no doubt in my mind. I think there's a small staircase that was the culprit for this injury, and him either throwing her down violently or against them. Will the power of the Einstein group subside or lose authority in offing people, or the offing by then will decrease? Okay, so let's talk. Oh yeah, that's why I need to circle back to Diana Jenkins. So let's circle back to that. So what I picked up from that, because I was downloading a masculine energy, and the Lyran, they were using the Lyran DNA and the Pleiadian DNA of Hayden Panettiere to try and get her to handle another male psychically, because she did have psychic abilities. This is something that Eggstein, we'll call them Eggstein group, they would utilize the people that they had victimized. The sexual victimization unlocks your psychic gifts. Okay, so this is the whole point of suffering, and why the deletes like to do this. And then they can infiltrate your chakras if you're none the wiser, and almost use you as a spy without your knowledge, right? So, when they own celebrities through contracts, and let me just say this, celebrity contracts are demonic contracts. So whenever I was going through my situation and navigating, I could hear telepathically. I think that's how my guides would warn me not to get in cahoots with people, because I would hear their demonic overlord or contractual agreement in my sleep, and I would have a weird feeling and I wouldn't want to talk to them after that. So if you're not aware and you're not very conscious of your own frequency as opposed to others, and you don't meditate, and you will naturally mistake other people's energy for your own, other people's thoughts for your own. That's why it's so important to meditate. So back to Diana Jenkins. I think that they were trying to use, I don't think Diana Jenkins was necessarily her handler. She was placed and set in her life as some type of mentor to groom her into being psychically infiltrated and taken advantage of. And the reason I'm talking about this with Einstein is because Einstein did this at the top of the pyramid. Like, he had CIA abilities, he could remote view. I'm almost certain of it. He had telepathic abilities. He was well versed in esoteric knowledge. I'm getting the exact same masculine energy, CIA energy from Diana Jenkins, allegedly. Okay. So she has a very masculine energy to me. In fact, it's possible she could have a whole demonic, like, just like masculine, just like entity operating in there. It doesn't seem feminine at all to me. It seems like an Eggstein character of like an octopus having many, many tentacles, a puppet master puppeteering many people at one time without their knowledge. Now, I don't know if she was ever fully successful in getting Hayden fully under her control. I don't think so. I think that it seems like Hayden was always like kind of like the white rabbit that got away in the chase and like slipped through all their fingers and like they didn't realize it. So she was they were more successful handling her through her romantic relationships is what I'm getting. Public romantic relationships, because like I think she was also like felt it feels like what I'm picking up is she felt safer in the arms of a woman romantically. But publicly, she was afraid or shamed into being heterosexual. So maybe the romantic partners, stage partners, were always the ones that were successful in handling her because they would do things subtly in public that were shaming to her, and she never really wanted. She was programmed to not want things to be publicly shared or displayed. So, I think that Diana Jenkins is probably right at the same level in the hierarchy as Eggstein. And she has her own big group of people. So whoever also I'm getting Naomi Campbell, like an image pop in my mind. So it's just gonna go, all these demons are gonna body hop and body jump when something gets shut down, like P. Diddy's little pyramid got shut down. So everyone hopped to probably Diana Jenkins. And then now that Diana Jenkins is kind of getting outed, everyone's going to hop to Naomi Campbell, or, or vice versa, P. Diddy to Naomi to Diana, it's kind of, they're just going to follow the path of least resistance, maybe. I just heard journalist, the path of journalism. So it's kind of the game of journalism is what I just heard, which that makes sense. Will this sacrificing stop? They have 4 more years to quit it, is what I just heard. It says the year 2030. Which is interesting because isn't that when CERN's going to go back on? QQQ, who is the powerful celebrity who she mentioned she was put in bed with in the interview where she was speaking out? Ignore if you already answered this in the other live. James Blunt. Allegedly, allegedly, allegedly. Yeah. There's another celebrity that also followed the same playbook with her. This was on land, though. I just saw someone with red hair, and I asked if it was a prince with red hair, and I got a yes. Yes. That was a surprise. I wasn't expecting that one. A lot of people tie James Blunt, the singer, with Hayden death due to his gruesome video clip. Yes. Yeah, it's disgusting, deplorable, despicable. No, he really was the person. James Blunt was really the person. And also, I'm getting like he's a weird, like super soldier energy, like DNA energy. He also has supersonic abilities, like psychic sonic abilities. So again, I don't know what they were doing or what they like recruited Diana Jenkins to do, but there was something a sexual exchange between JB and Hayden Panettiere would have unlocked some of her Lyran DNA abilities. They were trying to do this secretly, is what I'm picking up. And it went left. She was protected by her, like I'm seeing her Lyran Starseed guides. She was protected technologically and somehow got away from it. But they were supposed to really soul fragment split her through this trauma, this SA that they had planned. And DJ, we'll call her DJ, got paid for this to get this job done, but she didn't get paid all the way because she didn't get it done. She didn't seal the bag. So he's got some super, I don't know. He looks like a hybrid of some sort. He doesn't look all the way human to me. He seems like a plant, a celebrity plant that was like lab made. And so that's why they set up DJ as her best friend to get this done. It was a slow grooming process. Now, star seeds, especially Lyran star seeds with these abilities and these talents, they have to be very careful because people that go against the universal law, which that's the problem. I think that's why CERN was like ordered to be turned off by off-worlders, because the parasitic race that they call the custodians of the no lands, the center behind the ice walls that we live in, right? They don't tell us about beyond the ice walls. There's many lands, there's many off-worlders. They're just like, it's like tons and tons of real estate. And you get there from water through the ocean. Okay, not space, not like in rocket ships. If you ever notice rocket ships taking off by NASA, they go at an arc. They cleverly film it as if it's going straight. It's not. It follows the arc of the firmament, and then it drops down into the ocean, and that's where the real journey begins. That's where the true space journey begins, is through the water. And why do you think our astronauts are training when they show the training of the astronauts, NASA astronauts? Why are they always in pools and in water? Because they get to the other worlds through the oceans. Okay. It's, you go and you look at the NASA astronauts, everybody's hair looks crazy hairsprayed. It is such a joke. You can see the lines, the wires of all the apparatus, the harnesses holding them in place. It's just a joke. Whew, I'm getting thirsty. Sorry. One sec. Channeling makes me thirsty. So the custodials and custodians, the parasitic race, have been left by the Anunnaki, and they kind of it's run amok. They've made a mess of the DNA here with humans and experimentation. They've taken advantage of their power, and they've gone against universal laws, which is a huge, huge no-no. And this is why we're just now seeing off-worlders come in and extraterrestrials, the good higher dimensional kind, come in and assert their dominance or their authority or their like a spiritual ranking. They're calling rank is what I just heard. Because they have quite literally gone against God's will with human DNA. And it's gotten so far away from us that we like don't even have like, full free will choice at this point. It's all being spoon fed to us, and deceits, like in a deceitful way. It's been like our free will has been hijacked. So James Blunt, allegedly, it's obvious that he is not of full human race. He is like a super soldier and like also like a cannibal from his video. And like people like Jeffrey Dahmer and allegedly. I'm just like putting that out there because I'm already getting shadow banned. But people like Jeffrey Dahmer and these weird kids that like, the cult leaders and things like that, like all of the major criminals in our history, they all come from the same family lines, the same breeding. I'm telling you, we could probably connect every single crime all around the world to the same groups. So it's very important to pay attention to whenever your hair stands on end, to whenever your intuition, your dreams and your visions navigate you to away from scary things. You can't quite logically explain it. It's not a time to be polite. It's a time to fully act on your gut instincts, in my opinion. And we're seeing that with full disclosure with these celebrities. I don't think it's just celebrities being sacrificed, if I'm totally honest. I think it's also everyday people. We aren't just here. We just aren't hearing about it. I know they tried to sacrifice me for my psychic abilities. They thought that I would just like not say anything and just be a nobody and just like silently go away. And, this is partially why I started my YouTube channel. I didn't want to. I hate any type of attention, but it was like forced upon me. And now still I'm getting shadow banned, but they have 4 years. I just heard in my clairaudience, in my inner ear, they have 4 years and then it will start to slow down. So that's fascinating. That's the first time I've heard that. But I absolutely believe James Blunt is connected to this. And I think that, no, I think that James Blunt is part of the group, the club. And I think in order for them to still protect him, he has to show it in his art. And that's the other sad thing, is that this is how you know the contractual demonic contracts are in competition with God. They're trying to own the masters and the rights to all art, music. They try to control it. They use it as a curtain for demonic practices behind the scenes. And this is what full disclosure truly is going to be all about. Us actually looking at what they've been feeding us symbolically. that we've been just not even connecting internally to. His eyes are scary. Yeah. He has like this streak in him that could only be described as a cannibal. um like he would enjoy watching other people suffer and his prey kind of scram or be scared. That's what I'm getting. For some reason I got the word scram. James Blunt was constantly picking up young teens on his tour bus. Gross. He's a horrible human. I believe it. And his music isn't that great either. You're beautiful. Ugh, gross. The water's above and below. Interesting. Yeah, I could believe it. He gives me super soldier vibes. Anything else you can tell us about James Blunt? Let me protect, man. Whew. These vibes from James Blunt. Okay, so I'm getting energy. I'm channeling that there's some threat or worry around Hayden's daughter finding about who gets access to her. Right. Excuse me. Right now, they're giving her rest and time, like reprieve, but I don't know if she's going to be kind of like sold or transported just like Hayden, but it's almost like they're fighting over the plans for her future. Okay. All right. So I'm feeling Hayden full on channel right now. Is like a lot of flooding and information that's coming in. I just got something referencing her stomach. She got her stomach pumped. This was not when the instance that was unalived, that where she was unalived this recent time. She had her stomach pumped. So this is what she was talking about. Check my history. Historically, this will make sense with Brian Hickerson. She's saying like her stomach was pumped prior to like how many months ago was this? Like 10, 7, 8, 10 months prior. She was also with him. This was the last time she was with him. This is why it's been a while since she went back to him. But she had to go back for something with that book. With what book? Is it This Is Me book or is it with yeah, the This Is Me book. I'm seeing the number 13. I can only assume this is like bad luck or something. I'm seeing the number 13, like floor number 13 or something. I mean, I know they don't have a lot of 13th floors in hotels because of bad luck, but there's something about 13. Also getting a reference to a cathedral again, like, and I'm hearing that song, Take Me to Church. So clarity, truth, something about the number 13. Feels like it has to do with an Airbnb or hotel room or something like that. She has a friend. She has a friend that technically, I guess it was like r- technically, I guess it was like floor 12. Something about floor 12, the 12th floor or 13th floor. Like maybe it wasn't like it was really the 13th floor, but I don't know. I don't know. Something also seeing the color navy blue. Her father was in on this deal somehow. Her father is was self-invested in this as well. Her unaliving in particular made a deal with Brian Hickerson. Something about the location where she was unalived, the Airbnb, something about the number 13 and the number 12. Number 13, number 12. And I find this really weird that they are saying that it's a residence in North Carolina because it's feeling like an Airbnb. I just heard, duh. I don't know why. I don't know why. Also, I'm seeing the number 9. So the 9th of something or September was significant. Maybe I'm kind of getting the feeling that like she thought she was going to make it at least until September. I'm also now seeing a red cardinal. She's going to be sending a red cardinal to her friends as symbolically as signs that she's around. And when to drop certain information publicly, she's going to send a red cardinal by October. That's significant. I feel like she's almost apologizing for leaving and abandoning, but she's like walking away in peace and searching for higher ground. Like she's like, I'm so much happier to be gone and away from the evils of the world. She's sorry that she had to abandon her daughter. That's what I'm getting. It's a DNA game, I just heard her say. A DNA game. Did they curve Hayden reverse pentagram on her stomach? Ooh, let's see. Carve. I got a yes. And see the crossed arms right here are really sticking out at me for the first time ever on this card. I feel like they did that with Taylor Swift. She was wholesome, and then they seemed to have her turned her dark and felt devilish possessed. So I think Taylor Swift is oh, I just heard Hayden say, well, my name equates in the gematria as a church of Satan. Like all the name, like let's see. It Yeah, Hayden Panettiere. The ordinal is 170, the reduction is 80, the reverse is 262, and the reverse reduction is 82, which is the exact lineup of the Church of Satan. So when you tap into Taylor Swift and her lookalike, she looks exactly like the reincarnation of the head of the Church of Satan from the 80s. I think that this is where like they can implant consciousness and body swap, body jump, body hop. Um, yeah. And they'll send in ops that to traumatize you that will intentionally switch your chakras, switch your light off, make you bitter. Um, it's a way of mind control, and they're very sophisticated about it now. They use your own family members against you, and their own traumas. I've seen it myself in my own family. I mean, you can't throw pearls at a pig. They're just gonna sniff it like corn anyway. It's like arguing with stupid. When you have someone just as traumatized and they can't see and they're not aware of their own trauma when, like, you know, when I was trying to explain to my family members what was going on, and, you know, it's kinda like no one home, there's no lights upstairs, just because they've been through their so much of their own trauma. So, it's like you have to find your tribe, and you have to find the people that are conscious and self-aware, that have done their own healing, and try to follow the sovereign path as much as possible, the love and light, and like being in the heart portal and the heart chakra. Because it's gonna get real more bonkers, folks, in the next 4 years. Especially right now, I'm getting like some downloads both from Charlie Kirk and Hayden. Somehow Charlie Kirk, Hayden Panettiere, and Isaac Cappy's situation are all connected. I mean, like I said, every criminal activity of this group, I think, are connected. They follow the same protocols. They follow the same like rules and chain of command. They have to, because it's an entire pyramid scheme. So it's like MLM marketing. And so you're going to find, I don't know why I'm like saying what is that? I'm not Canadian, so I don't know why I'm saying that. But yeah, they're somehow connected. There's some similar woven threads, common denominators in all three cases is what I'm picking up. And I forgot what I was gonna like the point I was gonna make and circle back to. Something about clone implantation and like conscious plants, and like it's almost like a conscious chip. Like they can pull out from the bone the like pineal, like eyebrow bone or something. Oh yeah. So I think definitely Taylor Swift is like the reincarnation of the head of the Church of Satan, is what I'm getting. So she, I believe, actively partakes in witchcraft and really, really demonic practices that are harmful to young children. Absolutely. If I had a child, I would never let them listen to Taylor Swift, allegedly. Never, ever, ever, ever. It is an Airbnb. It is an Airbnb in an apartment complex. Oh, okay. Yikes. QQQ is the headquarters main of the Einstein in Miami. I got a yes. Same card, too. Yeah. Yeah. QQQ Are the higher ups of the dark group in Vegas in case they are not in Miami? I think they're in both. I think they will geographically move to the different demonic portals. Like I said, there's a demonic portal in Vegas. There's also one in Miami. That's why you have so many demonic activities that happen, like the yachts and things, and like the Miami club scene. And then you have like the strip, the Vegas strip of like all the, prostituting and the gambling and things like that, the city of sin. I think it depends on the full moon cycles, and I think it depends on geographic harvesting energy and astrology. That's what they pick the location on. It's all the same people. That's why you have Zorro Ranch, and then you also have the island. It's there is something to the astrological cartography, the geography. It also matters where you're located. So, I mean, that's why Naomi Campbell's island has the Eye of Horus on it. Symbolism mixed with, timing, mixed with the cycles of the moon and location all play a role. And that's why they keep all that information hidden. And so we're none the wiser, and they're using us, the beacon of light, the innocence that, energy is needed, because if they're knowingly partaking in this and actively choosing this of their free will to lure people into these demonic practices, they've lost their light. They've lost that conscious power to create. So they have to harvest it from others. I think that's the biggest thing. And another thing too that she wants to remind me of is to say is that, like, I noticed all of this because I'm so telepathic. But like, imagine if you have someone that's super empathic and just feels a pull towards something, like, but doesn't realize that they're being mind controlled or manipulated, like lured in telepathically, but it just feels empathically like a pull, a nudge, right? They maybe their pineal is calcified with fluoride and they can't fully hear, right? So I think this is why they dumb us down with certain toxins and chemtrails in the morning, so that we're kind of in this sleep state, not fully accessing all of our faculties, our psychic faculties. And so sometimes it'll just feel like the nudge or like an intuitive pull that lures them onto boats or to islands. There's a reason that they trap you on water. There's different maritime law on the water, and different things go legally on separate islands and on boats. This is why you can buy Rolexes on cruises without taxes and things like that. This is why they lure people on boats for SA, and why they make everyone on the yacht wear white. It's a purity initiation thing. Oof, I just got weird chills all up and down my spine. And I saw on YouTube, there was yet another ad that was like advertising a yacht with people, like it was a certain type of tequila and they were all in white. And I'm like that is super arrogant with all the P. Diddy stuff to still be advertising and thinking that's going to sell. Like, what? Like, I don't know. Hopefully we're a little more woke than that, the population, but Let's see. That's a great question. Is most of the population awake? The human population? No. What percentage would you say is awake? Fully awake? Like 20%. Yikes. Ugh, we need more awake than that. That's crazy. I keep getting that Eggstein will clash with the light forces this year. I think you're going to see a big clash in the November Scorpio season. I wonder what Eggstein's zodiac sign is. Let's see. Was born on January 20th, 1953. Aquarius sun. An Aries moon. That's crazy. And a Capricorn rising. Yuck. Yuck. Well, no wonder he's read so much esoteric stuff. He's an Aquarius. And the Aquariuses are known as the genius of the zodiac. That's interesting. I'm getting, Scorpio season is when there will be a clash. I definitely think that Eggstein is still alive. I don't think he's passed away. I'm also now suddenly getting like a very like sensitive strain in my throat. I'm in all honesty, it's like I don't know how this would be possible, but I'm getting like waterboarding like situations, like connected with Hayden, like the water situation, me choking, my throat really is in pain right now, like connecting to her energy, the left side of my throat. Also, Brian Hickerson, I feel like has been completely like CIA programmed to like he was like a bad experiment. They were trying to make like a Matthew McConaughey knockoff and like, oh my gosh, Bad News Bears went sideways. It looks so stupid. He just looks like a bad actor. Anyhow. Yeah. Well, guys, if that's all the questions for today, I think we've hit an hour. My voice is kind of getting a little scratchy, so I think it's time to stop channeling her. But thanks for coming. Let's see. Ellen DeGeneres, Ashton Kutcher, Isaac Cappy are also Aquarians. Oh, good to know. Ellen DeGeneres is like, I mean, that's probably why she had her full-on TV set was painted exactly like Eggstein's Island, right? Thanks for coming, Jean. All right, guys. If y'all want to book a personal reading with me, head over to my website at jgilly.com. It helps support the channel, and like, subscribe, share. It helps me out in the algorithm. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love and light.